Coming up on OC News.
Student media continues to face obstacles for free press.
San Francisco food companies are facing legal trouble for their sales of ultra-processed foods.
And a dive into the inspiring stories of Italian student athletes at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts now.
This just now in tech news. The first responder on release a more.
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
I feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts right now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Late Show of OC News. My name is Noah Shearson.
And I'm Sergio Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us this evening. With freedom of the press being targeted across the country, its trickle-down effect can be felt even here, locally at Cal State Fullerton. Our reporter Giselle Medina has the story.
Cannot lie, it is a tiny bit frustrating.
Honestly, it's really upsetting.
Every university has a reputation to uphold. At Cal State Fullerton, this responsibility appears to fall largely on strategic communications and brand management. However, on campus, student media have expressed hindering and censoring experiences as a result of this enacted rule, noticing a rise in professors, program directors, or coaches expressing instruction to defer media requests.
This semester specifically, where I will reach out to an individual, and StratComm will kind of take over the interview and get back to me with their answers as a statement from the university. Instead of readers saying this is said by the person who's an expert in this, whatever quote I need to use comes off as PR, which is what strategic communications does for the university, but that's not what I'm supposed to be doing for the university.
In another instance, a Daily Titan reporter had her questions altered completely without her knowledge before StratComm relayed them to her source.
It's definitely a transparency issue because they changed all of the questions that I sent. So I didn't get the responses that I wanted, and also it's why are you changing my voice? I felt like they were manipulating this story to be told in the way that they want it to be told.
With these impassioned testimonies by reporters of the Daily Titan, what can student journalists here at Cal State Fullerton do? Well, organizations like FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or the Student Press Legal Center serve as resources for guidance or a step towards action.
If the university is not just saying, look, we have this nice service for you, feel free to use it, but instead saying, hey, we have this service for you, and if you don't use it, you'll get in trouble. Once pain of punishment is put on not going through the PR office, that starts to look more like a First Amendment violation.
StratComm offers their news media service team as a resource to the university, yet a structured mandate for student media requests is not cited on their page.
If there is a policy, we've never received anything. People, professors and staff, are just not talking to us at all. It's almost like they don't exist. And the only source of information we have from the university is StratComm.
Ask for copies of those policies, those directives, those emails, whatever they're coming in, that are telling these, these folks that they can't talk. If they're not just willing to hand them to you, I would make a public records request. But even beyond the legal issues, it's just you guys are paying tuition. It's not cheap to go to school. People are supposed to be, they're government officials are supposed to be working on your behalf. And so I think it's certainly fair to ask, what are you afraid of talking about?
The current administration is coming for higher education, and that's making them scared. I don't think limiting our voices is the right way to go about it.
Student media hold understanding for StratComm's role, but a hope for resolving clarification remains. For OC News, Giselle Medina.
11 people were hurt Tuesday afternoon when an AC transit bus barreled into a building in Oakland. The crash happened yesterday afternoon on the intersection of 68th Avenue and Foothill Boulevard. The AC transit bus slammed into an auto shop after colliding with a Nissan SUV. Firefighters were on the scene helping the injured passengers. 9 people were on the bus at the time, and 2 were riding in the SUV. Witnesses say that the bus was not traveling fast, which helped limit the damage. Investigators are still working to determine who had the green light at the intersection.
San Francisco officials are suing some of the country's biggest food companies, claiming their ultra-processed products are causing serious health problems across the nation. San Francisco is accusing some of the country's most influential food brands of engineering a health crisis. City Attorney David Chu says companies like Kraft, Heinz, Nestle, and Coca-Cola knowingly pack their products with ultra-processed ingredients linked to heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and even premature death. The lawsuit claimed these companies misled the public for years. Now, San Francisco wants to pay millions in medical costs tied to the damage. Chu described the situation as, quote, a cover-up lasting decades, end quote, and compared it to the actions of big tobacco, warning that the nation's health is at risk.
Electric scooters are zooming all over campus. If you're a rider, you can't ignore the dangers and responsibilities that come along with it. Jaden Fernandez has more on the story.
With many ways to get on campus, the popular and most noticeable mode of transportation is electric scooters. In light of the recent events of Lauren Turner and Ashlyn Gwynn, e-scooter safety awareness has become at an all-time high.
I'm not gonna lie, I have almost been hit multiple times on my scooter. And so I think with the news about that, it kind of just made me take like a big step back and really take it really slow on the scooter. Like, you don't understand how dangerous these things are. Like, I've fallen a couple times and I've gotten some crazy bruises, and you really can get hurt. And thank God my crashes were okay.
It made me realize how like dangerous they are and how fast they can go. And I wanted one before because like I walked to school, but like now I kind of don't want one, and I just like gonna figure it out somewhere else.
Before the incident, Parking and Transportation implemented new pedestrian-only zones where students should be walking, not riding.
I think it's useful when people actually practice it because I feel like pedestrian zones, I mean, you can sometimes see skateboarders or scooter riders still walking on or still riding through those. So I feel like at the end of the day, if they're used correctly, I think it's a good idea. But as of right now, I think it's not integrated the best.
According to California state law, you must have a driver's license or a driver's permit in order to operate one of these, as well as wearing a helmet if you're younger than the age of 18. And lastly, you have to drive these on the road and not the sidewalk. For me, I'm not even supposed to operate this as I don't have a driver's license or a permit.
Parents and like my other like family tell me to wear helmets a lot, but I don't, but I should. But I think like what I do is, I just try and make direct eye contact with the drivers, and I take my time at crosswalks.
As scooter safety and regulation continue to improve on campus, students should keep in mind of the dangers and responsibilities it takes to ride. I'm Jane Fernandez, OC News.
Coming up after the break, Litzy Aguilar has your update on the cooler temperatures hitting Southern California.
And we have an in-depth interviews with Italian student athletes here on campus. Stay tuned for more on OC News.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
From pouring showers to automatic sunshine, Litzy Aguilar has a scoop on the turnaround in the weather. Take it away, Litzy.
Thank you, Sergio. You guys already know how bipolar the weather is in SoCal. Let's take a look at what unexpected numbers we got today. So for our current weather today, we received the highest of 70 degrees with a low of 49. Now that is a major 30-degree difference considering that temperature is dropping lower than my grades. But honestly, after this Thanksgiving break, I'm pulling out my academic rifle, and I hope you guys are doing the same as well, Titans. Don't let finals pull you into the trenches. As for the wind, today it was at 5 miles per hour with humidity levels at 34%. Sunrise was caught at 6:40 a.m. and I can fully confirm that because last night, not even night, this morning, I ended up sleeping at 6:30 a.m. praying these sleepless nights pay off for getting A+ and everything. And sunset was caught at 4:42 today, which, I don't even have to go outside to check because lately it gets so dark so quick throughout the day. Now let's take a look for the forecast this week. And as you could see here, there's minor tweaks with the numbers this week. As for Thursday, we have it at 72 and Friday 71. The only day that's odded out of the week is Saturday with 69 degrees. Sunday would be a high of 73 and Monday a high of 77. As for the lows, Thursday remains at 46, Friday 47. As for Saturday, 48, 50. At this point, we're counting numerically. And Monday's the only lowest, highest temperature with 54. But honestly, Titans, I wouldn't let these temperatures fool you throughout the night. Stay warm. I'm always freezing my butt off and stacking up 3 blankets and 2 sweaters. So, stay warm and cozy as finals will approach soon. All right. Well, we're over here in Orange County calling it freezing in the morning when it hits the 40s or 50s. One Colorado town is getting the real deal. Ice castles are officially making a comeback in Cripple Creek, turning the town into a full-on winter wonderland. Teens spend up to 12 hours a day hand-building massive ice walls, tunnels, and glowing sculptures using thousands of icicles, something that only works with actual cold, unlike SoCal's dry winter. Locals say the attraction has totally changed their winters, bringing in visitors from across the country, including Californians who've only seen snow on Big Bear weekend. There's no opening date just yet, since Mother Nature calls the shots. All I'm gonna say is California could never. After all, we're all wussies when it comes to the cold weather. That's all I have for the weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Litzy, you're not wrong at all. I need a sweater once it's 60 degrees. The NCAA had a major shakeup, reversing a proposal that could have altered a major part of the lives of student athletes. Colin Costigan has more.
The NCAA recently rescinded their vote that would have allowed collegiate athletes at all divisions to bet on pro sports. In a written statement from the NCAA, they said that 2/3 of Division I board members voted to rescind the rule change and that the ban will remain in place for all 3 NCAA divisions. Despite initial approval from Division II and Division III in late October, the Division I Board of Directors voted just days later to push back its effective date, using a rule that gave them 30 days to rescind the vote since 2/3 of their division members indicated their rescission. During this period, multiple instances of illegal gambling activity and schemes occurred that ultimately influenced their final vote. In early November, it was reported that 6 different NCAA players from 3 schools participated in gambling schemes through game manipulation or sharing information to bettors. A week later, 14 people, which included multiple college athletes, were charged for their participation in a multi-million-dollar illegal sports betting ring that also had ties to organized crime. The growing concern relies on the continued involvement of collegiate athletes in rule-breaking and even criminal activity. Just why would they do this?
Young teen males are not noted for their high-quality decision-making. That it's, psychologists would say that the human brain is not fully formed until the age of 25. Well, all those college athletes are younger than that, right? They're still at a phase where they're making bad decisions and impulsive decisions.
Even for former student athletes who want nothing to do with gambling, they still recognize the power money has.
I think there's several factors when you look at, just money in general. People do a lot of just things they wouldn't normally do for money. And you're looking at a time where, they realize that this is the, highest level they might play at before going pro. A lot of athletes know they're not going to play pro. And so why not take advantage of making some quick money versus something long-term? But I can't speak for the athletes themselves. I know there's, hindsight's 2020, so there probably is like a lot of regret in some instances.
On top of all of that, there are so many options out there for collegiate athletes, ranging from online gambling through Prize Picks, all the way to organized crime through fixed card games. Outside of just athletes, this rule change would have also allowed athletic department members to bet on pro sports. Even though they're not directly involved in the game, their daily interactions with collegiate athletes also gives them an insight into potential issues that could have occurred.
Another thing that I could see would be a problem is, say you played with a now professional athlete and you still had that connection with each other. That could lead to putting more of your focus in that and kind of cheating, I guess.
The NCAA still has a lot on their plate to completely tackle gambling-related actions and behaviors. Only time will tell if this vote is the first step toward mitigating it. Reporting from Fullerton, California, I'm Colin Costigan with OC News.
Going from gambling to the competitions that really matter. From right here in Fullerton to Los Angeles, and even connecting with athletes from across the world. Isabella Lyons has more.
Thank you, Noah. The Pepperdine Waves rolled into Titan Gym on Saturday, but Fullerton was ready to make a splash of their own. CSUF men's basketball returned to Titan Gym Saturday and handled business with an 83-69 win over Pepperdine. It was a back-and-forth first half with 5 lead changes, but an 8-point run sparked by Landon Seaman helped Fullerton take a 40-33 lead at the break. In the second half, 3 straight threes, 2 from Davis White and 1 from Landon Seaman, blew the game open and had Titan Gym on its feet. Joshua Ward finished with a team-high 19 points, Seaman added 17 and 8 boards, and Fullerton dominated the paint and points off turnovers. The Titans are back home tomorrow night, hosting Cal Poly at 7 p.m. Headed up the road to Los Angeles, it was the 96th annual crosstown rivalry between the USC Trojans and the UCLA Bruins in the fight for LA. With star receivers Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon out of the game for the first quarter, it was a rough start for the Trojans, and Lincoln Riley had to depend on his run game, with King Miller coming in hot for the Trojans' first score of the game. UCLA responded with Nico Yamaleva's 2-yard touchdown pass to Quasi Gilmer, which would be the Bruins' first and only time in the end zone for the evening. Coming out of halftime, USC was ready to prove something, with both Mekhi Lemon and Lake McCree finding the end zone. King Miller finished what he started, scoring the final touchdown of the night on a 41-yard rush to the end zone to keep the victory bell and prove who really runs LA. Speaking of LA football, it was a back-and-forth battle at Bank of America Stadium as the Rams hit the road to face the Panthers. Devontae Adams opened up scoring for the Rams early on, but the Panthers are quick to answer, tying the game with just under 8 to go in the first. But Stafford throws a very costly pick six after he already threw an interception on the previous possession. This game ends his 8-game streak without an interception. With just under 9 minutes to go in the fourth, Bryce Young came alive, throwing a pair of touchdown strikes, both on 4th down, to keep the Panthers in the game. Now the Rams are trailing 31-28, trying to make a comeback, but Stafford is sacked and the ball comes out. Panthers take over, and that wraps it up in Charlotte, dropping the Rams to 9-3 on the season. I was able to connect and talk to a few different Italian student athletes here at Cal State Fullerton about their athletic and cultural journey in a new country. And with the Milan Cortina Olympics coming up, it was the perfect opportunity to connect CSUF to Italy through athletics.
The United States is a nation of people from all over the globe chasing their dreams, some of whom come seeking the chance to pursue college athletics. Cal State Fullerton has 4 athletes from all over Italy who chose CSUF as their home.
I chose Cal State Fullerton because I knew that the coach was doing a really important program with new players, and I was fascinated to this program, and also because it's a big college for also the study part, and because we are in Los Angeles.
For many international students, coming to America is challenging, but it opens the door to new opportunities, fresh perspectives, and meaningful connections.
Okay, I like this experience because it's not only the American experience, but it's a new experience with a new people, with a new kind of people, because it's not only, I not only met American people, but I met Dutch people, or New Zealand, Australian, and I love this because we are a different culture, but we help each other, and I think this is cool.
These athletes aren't just meeting new people or adjusting to life in America. they're representing an entire culture within the Titan community.
I would say just to share my background with people that don't really know about my country, because here in America, like when people think about Italy, it's like, oh, the food is amazing, but there's so much more than that. So like hanging out with like American people and like telling them story about my country.
È ora che l'Italia ospiterà le prossime Olimpiadi e questo orgoglio avrà un significante ancora più profondo.
I love the fact that my home country is hosting the Winter Olympics because people finally get a chance to see how beautiful our country is, and hopefully they can have a great experience and have a lot of good takeaways from it.
As the world turns its eyes to Milan for the next Olympics, these Titan athletes feel a sense of Italian pride. From Fullerton, Isabella Lyons, OC News.
I love that you included culture and sports together. I think that is a very, very influential thing. And to speak on one of the more important cultural matches that you covered earlier, that USC and UCLA game, 97 years ongoing. Looking at USC, what are some of the guys that are leaving USC and probably most likely moving on to the NFL draft?
Right, and even though nothing's been publicly announced yet, I mean, that's a common thing with college football. You get 3 years to play, and then you're eligible for the draft. So I think 3 guys we can really talk about right now, one being Jada Mayava, our quarterback, 23 touchdowns this year, just over 3,000 yards. I think he's one for sure who is eligible to declare. Another one, of course, Mekhi Lemon. He's been the backbone of this offense this year, over 1,000 yards, again, 11 touchdowns, just a great overall player. Now, we have Jacoby Lane as well. He had a great season last year. Less touchdowns this year than last year, but more yards. So I think with him, it can kind of go either way, but I do see him declaring still.
That's a really, really big 3 and very influential. And you can't talk about Jane Mayava without talking about his Heisman race at the very beginning of the season. But going to a little bit of the preseason, and I want to apologize to Sergio in advance, you as a Bruins fan. Nico Yamaleva was kind of projected to make a huge splash at UCLA, being a big transfer. What do you think is his future at UCLA?
I think his future is very bleak in the fact that we won't see him at UCLA in over a month, frankly. And it's very disappointing, but also it's just a trajectory of where UCLA's program has gone. We've seen a lot of turmoil from UCLA this season where their coaching staff has just been flipped. Deshaun Foster, he started the season 0-3. Tim Skipper steps in. Jerry Neuheisel kind of sparks UCLA a little bit. They had that little bit of a stretch where they got to beat Penn State, they got to beat Michigan State, and now we're right back to square one. And I just feel like Yamaleva does not have the weapons that he could have anywhere else, unfortunately. And I just feel like UCLA has just been really trending downwards as a program. And like you mentioned, as a Bruins fan, it's very disappointing to see.
So Yamaleva, you're projecting him to be having an exit, but you guys did just bring in a new head coach out of JMU. What's the future looking like for UCLA with this new head coach?
Yeah, so UCLA just took in Bob Chesney, who comes in from James Madison. He has led that program to become a winning program and out of the blue. James Madison is not a school that people consider when talking about college football, and he suddenly had them in talks for the college football playoff. That is very impressive, and Chesney also boasts such a winning resume. James Madison has been 11-1 this year, and in the past, Chesney's just done nothing but winning. Hopefully he can translate that into UCLA. I am a little bit skeptical just because I feel like there's been so much turnover and I don't really know what to expect at UCLA anymore. But hopefully that can change.
Right, and also being in the Big Ten, which is a really tough conference. But, I mean, looking at the future of the other opponent at USC, there have been a couple young stars that have really kind of taken on their own, especially some freshmen. Who are those guys that are expected to make a really big splash next season?
Yeah, I think one person that everyone is planning on being the successor to Jada Mayava is Husan Longstreet. Now, he had a perfect game against Missouri State. He also played against Georgia Southern. Of course, people are going to say, well, those are your smaller Division I schools. Of course, he's going to do good against them. He's a USC quarterback. However, that's exactly where you need your freshman to be. I think another freshman, Tanick Hines, he saw action in 5 games. He has 2 touchdowns this year, just south of 400 yards. Again, right where you want your freshman to be. And I can't go without talking about King Miller from talking about freshmen. 873 yards this year, 7 touchdowns. He's been the backbone of Lincoln Riley's rush game this year, and he's really had the opportunity to step up with Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders both out. A fun fact about King, actually, his twin brother is on the offensive line.
We love to see some brotherly love, especially that relationship, offensive line and running back. It's a really cool relationship to have. And so USC looking to have a really bright future in its athletes, keeping Lincoln Riley for another year and, hoping for some big things and hopefully a playoff push. Then UCLA kind of, we'll see what happens and kind of an experimental head coach, but would love to see something big happen at UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping for the best. And growing up a UCLA fan, I used to go to games growing up just in my adolescence. And there's been times where I've been at the Rose Bowl and the Rose Bowl's been full. Now, unfortunately, that is not the case anymore whatsoever. And we're talking about possibly leaving. I feel like UCLA just needs that big culture shift. Hopefully, Bob Chesney can bring that to Pasadena.
Couldn't agree more. Now, moving on from sports after the break, a look into the increase in energy drink consumption by students who are getting closer to finals.
Our entertainment anchor, Jade the Gavan, looks into Ray J's Thanksgiving arrest, and a rather drunk furry thief ransacks the store.
Stay with us on OC News.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There's no better way to prepare for finals than by prioritizing your health. Jenny Guzman is live at the library in a cozy, hidden space where you can treat yourself ahead of finals. Jenny, where are you and what's going on?
Thank you, Noah. I'm in the center of the library where earlier today, the International Education and Engagement Center hosted a mental health event where they brought in the good food and good vibes ahead of finals. Tucked inside the library, IEE opened its doors and welcomed students inside for the chance to debrief ahead of finals.
This semester, we have some kind of end of semester celebration, and we thought, you know what, let's change it up this year. And so we love this space. Our students are familiar with this space. They're very comfortable here. As you can tell, it's very cozy. We have space for Titan Health to be here and also some treats. And so we thought, well, let's just combine it. Let's have a celebration, but also just a time for us to reconnect with friends and to recharge.
The event brought in the opportunity for Titans to connect and encouraged a deeper conversation about student mental health on campus.
I think mental health is incredibly important, especially, we're just post-COVID, everybody that was just like a weird time for everybody. I know that a lot of people struggle with their mental health, and I think it's important to connect with other people and to know that we're not alone, like we have other people, and it's really important to have that.
Titan Health also made their appearance, bringing the resources and information straight to students, even giving out one-of-a-kind pins for students to remember to treat themselves and recharge ahead of finals. Sending it back to you guys at the desk, I'm Jenny Guzman, OC News.
Whether you're getting wings or unleashing the beast, energy drinks have never been more popular, especially late in the semester. Reporter Julian Vallejo has more on students' caffeine habits.
Thanks, guys. With finals coming up soon, students are finding ways to improve their study sessions. And their solution? Caffeine. It's no surprise that energy drinks and coffee help people stay awake, but there are other effects that some might not have known. Some students have noted a downside to their energy drinking habits.
Okay, well, I try not to take it like past like 5 p.m. So I try to avoid the lack of sleep as much as I can. But yeah, anything after 5, I can't sleep.
While some people aren't as reliant on caffeine, others use it as a pick-me-up for their long week of finals. Some students believe that their caffeine intake helps them to concentrate and dial in on the studying they need to accomplish.
I get a lot more work done because I'm kind of just frantically going and doing stuff because of all the built up energy I have.
Everyone has their methods of keeping pace in their classes, and some people's energy drink of choice may help more than others depending on the caffeine level. With the expected increase in energy this month, hopefully the positives outweigh the negatives. I know they will for me. In Fullerton, I'm Julian Vallejo. Back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, sorry. It's been a really stressful time with finals and all, and I have a paper due tonight, so. From legal drama to reconstruction of Nina Simone's childhood home, Jade Gavan has your update on entertainment. Take it away, Jade.
Thank you, Sergio. From music mogul to huge controversy, rap star Diddy Combs is in headlines as a new document series brings forward never-seen footage and serious allegations. The 4-part docu-series, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, dropped on December 3rd and includes a testimony from his former associates describing Combs as manipulative and abusive. Executive producer, rapper 50 Cent. This series has sparked conversation about power, accountability, and music industry culture surrounding major artists. Public reaction online has been explosive, with many calling this a major turning point in Sean Combs' legacy. Another well-known Black figure in the entertainment industry, singer and entrepreneur Ray J, was recently involved with a drama-filled live stream, an incident that ended up with his arrest. On November 27th, Thanksgiving morning, Ray J was arrested in Los Angeles after arguing with his estranged wife on his live stream. Princess Love accused him of threatening her with a firearm, which led to his booking and release later that day on $50,000 bail. This couple has publicly and a complicated relationship, and this incident adds to their ongoing legal and personal challenges. Lastly, a story about culture and pride, preservation. The childhood home of Nina Simone was restored to carry her forever-lasting legacy. As of December 3rd, Nina Simone's home in Tyron, North Carolina, has fully been restored after years of preservation efforts. Led by the African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund, the site highlights the importance of protecting Black artistic history. Nina Simone's legacy as a pianist, singer, and songwriter, also civil rights activist, her voice continues to influence generations, and now her child home stands as a living proof. And that wraps it up with this week's entertainment. From controversy to cultural celebration, there's always something going on the spotlight. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jade. A drunk raccoon was found passed out on the bathroom floor of a Virginia liquor store on Saturday morning. The furry thief ransacked the shelves of an Ashland ABC store and drank multiple types of liquor. Officials took the raccoon to the shelter to sober up, where he slept for a few hours and had no signs of injuries. The little fellow was then safely returned back into the wild. Who knew animals needed AA?
Yeah, that raccoon seemed to have a really good time, Noah.
Yeah, I think it reminds me of a certain someone that I knew had a great time on Halloween.
Oh, really? Did you have a great time on Halloween?
I had a great time babysitting you.
Oh, wow. Thank you for watching OC News. Take a look at our social media at OC News CSUF and Titan TV CSUF. I'm Sergio Gonzalez.
And I'm Noah Sherson. Stay tuned for our last 2 shows next Wednesday. And I want to give a special thank you to everybody here in the studio and everybody in the back. This is my last time on camera for OC News, and I couldn't have done everything that I do without everybody supporting me. Have a good night.